before.
Yeah, no, definitely. Here's my take on it, and this is this is probably an unpopular opinion because I'm kind of going against the grain a little bit here because I think kind of like the fan opinion is yes, it's too expensive. I think most people will say it's too expensive. But here's my thing. There's a reason why like a lot of premium brands don't throw out discounts often. You never go into the Apple store and see a bunch of like buy one, get one 50% off. You don't go into Cartier and see buy one, get one free. There's a reason for that. Premium brands, look, you'll get that short-term sale for sure. You'll get the bump because everything's on sale, but you're also going to take a hit in your brand image as a premium brand when you start to do those things. And I'm going to bring up an image real quick because I think this kind of showcases a little bit what I'm talking about. When you see an image like this, do you think premium brand? I don't. I think cheap quality. I'm getting it for $5, 2 for $5. I'm getting a 90, low price, 60% off. This doesn't scream premium product to me.
And as you can see, folks, there's nothing of Carl Jr. on this whatsoever. So we're good to go.
That's a premium product, though. That's why. Yes. but you know what I'm saying, though? Like when you start to go down this road where you're heavily discounting and giving a lot of these price cuts, you start to diminish your brand as a premium product, and that's a real danger. And we've even seen this when it comes to Disney Plus. What's the biggest complaint when it came to putting the Pixar stuff on Disney Plus for free? It was the optics, that because they didn't do Premier Access or because it wasn't in the theaters, it was optically a lesser product. So it's out there. This kind of mindset is out there that if what you charge directly correlates to the value, the quality of what you're selling. So if Disney goes down this road where, hey, you know what, we're going to discount our hotels. Oh yeah, you know what, we're going to discount our pricing for the admission tickets, and we're going to discount this and discount that. Yes, they'll get the bump initially short term from those discounts, but at what cost to the brand image? You start to become kind of Six Flags, I got to say. And, that's kind of how I feel about it.
Well, and this is what I have my take on it. Before I got kicked out, Chapek knew I was doing a live show and he just didn't want me to be on it. So, but this is where I kind of go back and forth on the subject matter, because yes, from the time when I was a child up to now, the prices have increased with everything. There are certain aspects of the parks that used to be free. They used to be complimentary. Do I still believe that taking away completely and obliterating the Magical Express was a bad? Yes, that was one of the worst decisions Disney could ever make, is to get rid of the Magical Express in that form. However, when you look at the bigger picture of everything in society, I cannot talk tonight. Society is today that, there's people that spend a cup of coffee or a Starbucks every single day. They'll go in and spend $6 to $8 on this premium cup. If you really add that each week, or, maybe you go out to an elaborate dinner, or you go to a concert maybe a couple times a year. If you actually look at these concert tickets, they're astronomical. For a 2 to 3 hour concert, depending on where you're sitting, for two people is almost like $800 to $900. And that's literally depending on where you're sitting, if you want to have decent seats. So for me, if you want to have that elaborate vacation, then you kind of almost have to expect some sort of a leap, especially with the way the world is going through today. Gas prices are going up, food's going up, everything is just going up. So especially with a company like Disney, they're going to move with the wave, so to speak. They're not going to go backwards. And it's unfortunate that if people can't afford it, but it's sometimes you almost have to kind of pick and sacrifice of maybe what you want to do throughout the year, or maybe do like one big elaborate trip, so to speak. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm an average Joe. I don't make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, but yet I find myself in the position to find special deals, whether because I'm an annual pass or I'm a Disney Plus subscriber. Anything, going on throughout the years that Disney may say, hey, you know what, 25% off of a hotel during the peak season, or from this time to this time. Those are the deals that I grab. Sometimes there are times where, and I know a lot of people don't have the opportunity to, but if you start early enough of planning, then you can kind of alter some things as you go along. And I know that drives people crazy, because I am also a sporadic type of traveler. I like to do things spontaneous, but unfortunately the way the lay of the land is, you have to literally have everything booked to a T before you even walk through those turnstiles.
And Marty McFly down below says, typically you can increase the price or make things more difficult. Disney is doing both and are getting the feedback that is expected with this. Dre, I know you've touched upon this many times. What are your thoughts on Marty McFly's comment?
This was actually the point I was just going to make. There's one, I guess there's something to be said about increasing the price, but also having a parallel track of exceeding quality, increasing quality, increasing attractions, increasing, what you get for that increase in price, right? This is the first time that I've seen, at least in, in the history that I've been covering this kind of stuff, that we've seen a massive increase in price, and we haven't necessarily seen the increase in quality. In fact, we've seen diminishments of quality across the board. And just to Marty McFly's point here, I mean, it's like the Disney experience has become unbelievably complex. In fact, they just sent out surveys, a new round of surveys, talking about, hey, what might have enticed you to be going to Universal, over Walt Disney World, or as part of a vacation to, Central Florida. And one of the, a couple of topics that were on there was, hey, Express Pass over Genie Plus, right? Do you think it works, better than Genie Plus? And overwhelming response says that yes, Express Pass is much better of a product than Genie Plus, because of the limited amount of hassles that people have to go through in order to use that product. They talk about how reservations don't have to be made, right, for each day, which simplifies the process for them. That there's less microtransactions going on, within Universal's parks once you get there. So it's not just upfront ticket costs, but it's also the kind of the back end money that you that guests encounter when they actually get into the parks themselves. This is really kind of an interesting thing here, because Walt Disney World back in the day was, hey, you grit your teeth, you make that one-time payment, or on your credit card or whatever, finance it, and then that's it. It's over. You're done. Now you experience the magic. Well, now what we're seeing here is, when you pay the big price, that's just the kind of the first part of your payment process, where now when you're actually in the parks, or even before you get to the parks, now you're paying throughout the way. It's not this kind of all-inclusive kind of package anymore, but it's transactioning the experience as you go through it, which is a whole different thing. Think about it. Even with Genie Plus now, right? You can't even prepay for that anymore. So when you actually get into the park, now it's like people have to make decisions about whether or not they're actually going to, pay for the service or not. And now you've just extended out that time, and it's hurting the magic for a lot of folks. And as people budget things out, as people kind of look at their financing, especially with some economic conditions that might change, as I said before, people, like you said, George, people will budget out entertainment. They will. And that's the kind of the awesome thing about the parks business, is that people will budget out those amusements and those activities and so forth. But will they be encouraged to do so after some of the systems and products that we've seen introduced in the parks division, the last 2 years? Will people be kind of have this bad taste in their mouth after their last visit? Will they be encouraged to budget those things out to go on another vacation to Disney, or will they just say, screw it, we're going to Universal? That we've not really seen yet. It's too early to tell. Even the article makes note of this, that it's too early to tell what these effects will have on consumer demand going forward. But I mean, from what I'm hearing from the parks, I mean, this is really kind of hurting them. It's not just cost, it's the microtransactions, it's the declining, services. The article makes reference to like trash and, a lack of cast members not being able to tend to your every need and so forth, and really it affecting the experience. And for that high price, I think people are going to be wanting more.